Hey guys, what's up? Long time no see. Life's been kicking my ass a little bit, so I've kind of taken some time to handle some things. Things really aren't any better or doing any better, but I figured I had a little bit of time today that I'd take a quick video here, introduce a snake that you haven't met before in Big Red. She is Ron Burgundy's mother. She has had a plethora of problems since she's had that clutch. I don't know what exactly is going on. I've talked to a lot of people throughout the community to try to figure out what might be going on. Steve Tillis was kind enough. He sent me a ton of studies that I've been going through and trying to find things that might kind of relate to what she has going on and things that I can do to fix it, which I'm really not sure what I can do because I already vary her diet. I've tried all different, substrates, temperatures, humidity, all these different things I've played with and different combinations of to try and fix these issues with her. She presents as if she's almost dehydrated in the fact that she sheds poorly and her head is sunken in, and I can honestly say with 100% certainty that it's nothing on my end that I can do to make that snake more hydrated, short of literally opening her mouth and dumping water in there. And obviously she's not dehydrated to a serious level, or, she would have organ failure by now, or she would have died, from dehydration or something like that. So the weird thing is her scales don't necessarily look dehydrated, but when she sheds very poorly, horrifically usually. And when you see her head, she's going to be in this video, it looks like, somebody's butt print sat on her head. And if I look back on pictures from even before she had that clutch, you can kind of see a slight indentation more than you would on a normal blood, but nothing really all that alarming. But over time, it's gotten much, much worse. And, I'll explain some things in the course of the video that I've done to try to figure it out, and you'll get to see her. She's a little underweight right now, which I'll talk about as well. So happy 4th of July to everyone. Stay tuned and check her out, and hopefully I'll have some more exciting content for you soon, all right? We'll see ya. So as I said, you guys haven't seen her on the channel yet, and as I discussed, she's had a lot of issues over the past few years. She's still not where I want her to be by any means. She's actually quite underweight right now, which is something that I need to address. But this is Big Red, and she is Ron Burgundy's mother. I just gave her a bath. We just treated her cage. She doesn't want anything to do with me right now, so give me a minute. She was very annoyed about the bath. She's always had a strong dislike for water. She'll sit in water once I soak her, but she doesn't really like to, not in my face, please. But she doesn't really like to, let me jump on the other side of the camera here, to be sprayed or any of that. I don't want her to go in the woods, obviously. So I'm gonna try to head her off at the pass here. She is a very large snake, but if you look at her head, that's one of the major issues that we've been having. It's super sunken in as if she's dehydrated. Now, she literally has just been soaking for over an hour. Obviously, she has regular access to fresh water. She's kept probably more humid than most of my other bloods because of her shedding issues, which you can also see some evidence of there. And as I said, she's a bit underweight right now. So you can see a lot more spine definition than I would like to. And we are working on that too, but with the shedding issues and all this other stuff, I've kind of prioritized that other stuff for a while. So right now I'm back to where I'm trying to put a little bit of weight on her. She's not super red today, but you can definitely tell she's a very red animal, which is part of where Ron gets his color from. His father was an extremely red T-positive albino. But you can see she's quite a good size. The last time that I measured her, she was 6'4". I haven't measured her in a while. I don't think she's grown much, maybe an inch, if that. She's definitely still a good size animal though. And you can see some of this deep color. Like I said, she's not looking super red today, but I really love these deeper colors. The sun's not really cooperating either to allow you to really see her in her glory. But if I catch her on the right day, she's pretty incredible. I'll throw some pictures in this video of her, but there you can see that head again. And now, even years ago, she had a little bit of a sunken head, but nothing like she does now. And I don't know her age. I think, to be honest, that the people that I got her from weren't accurate with their age, and I don't think they did it intentionally. But when I got her, she was supposed to be like 6 years old, and that was about 6 years ago, give or take. Well, let's see, Ron was hatched in 2016, so I would have had her at least in 2015. So yeah, about 6 years ago. So supposedly she's about 12 years old, but she looks older to me. And she looked older the day that I got her, just based on a lot of things there. So I don't think that was accurate. And like I said, I don't think they intentionally misrepresented it by any means, because I know the person, and I just don't think that they would do that. But I do question if she's much older. So basically, the problems with her shedding and the head really sinking in started after she had that clutch in 2016, in which Ron was from. So she laid, I believe it was a total of, I don't know, I think it was 29 total, like, eggs and slugs. It was like maybe 13 or 16 good looking eggs, and then a bunch of duds and slugs, and then 10 of those babies hatched. But it was a pretty sizable effort for her, and obviously she was much larger than as far as girth goes. But that head problem has progressed as time has gone on, and this is as bad as it's ever been. I have a bunch of studies I've been reading through and all kinds of stuff trying to figure out what happened and how to fix it. I have not had luck yet, obviously, but it really started after she had that clutch. She had never had a bad shed before. All of a sudden, she just could not shed at all, ever. Every single shed was really bad. Just don't want her to go in the woods. And so I had to, basically help her shed, do all kinds of stuff. I've had her on like probably a dozen different substrate combinations, different substrates, tried different things. I've gone to the point where for a straight month, every single day, twice a day, I changed her water to make sure it was as fresh as possible. Just do everything that I could to keep her hydrated, soaked her, sprayed her, you name it, I've done it. And in the past 4 years, she's had maybe 2 good sheds. She just doesn't shed good anymore. It's like something chemically is off in her body. And so that's where I've been reading all these studies, trying to figure out, see if she's gonna tolerate me touching her. I know, it's a tough life, come on. But yeah, so she, I haven't handled her really much in the last 4 years, outside of just routine cleaning, because I haven't really wanted to mess with her much. And you can see on her back there, a little bit of stuck shed. That's nothing. Like, usually she will shed off her head and then the rest of her body is stuck. Sometimes she'll do her belly, never ever her back. Her tail, oftentimes she'll do. But this is about as good as it gets with her these days. And it has been better the last like 3 or 4 cycles, where it's been steadily increasing in the percentage she gets off. And it's not really so much what I've changed. I vary her diet. I do everything I can to try to encourage her body to produce whatever it needs to produce that it's lacking. But I don't know. And so I haven't tried to pair her up or breed her since. Ultimately, the goal was to put Ron back to her and try to produce more of these really deep red snakes. And she's watching me right now. She's like, "What are you doing, guy? Let me switch this around so that I can get you closer to her without her having to deal with me." So yeah, she's very weary right now. One, she's been outside maybe twice in the past couple of years, just usually when I'm trying to do something maintenance wise on her and I just want to let her cruise around the sun a little. But I really haven't touched her much. And so you can see she's still not terrible. She's just not about like sitting in my arms anymore. Years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, the snake would sit in my lap. She was great. But I just really don't spend the time with her, not because I don't want to, but because I just have not wanted to put any kind of stress on her that I don't really have to, while I've been trying to figure this out. I'm at a point where I don't know if I ever am going to figure it out, so all I can do is try to provide her with the best life that I can, And at this point, you know, she'll probably never be bred again unless something suddenly turns around and she looks good. When it first happened, there was a thought that maybe pairing her up again would kind of knock back whatever got knocked loose kind of thing. But I don't think that's gonna work, and I don't think it's worth the risk. You know, because God knows it could get worse, or the process could kill her. Perhaps she's not metabolizing something properly that might cause her to have a higher chance to be egg bound. You just don't know. So I've just been very careful with her, but she eats quail, she eats chicken, she eats guinea pigs, she eats rats, rabbits. She's not a picky animal at all. And so right now, like I said, we're working on getting some weight on her. So I'll have her out maybe in another month or two. Let you guys take a look at the progress with that and see how quickly these guys can actually gain weight with just, you know, steady feeding. I'm not going to be pumping her full of food by any means. It's just going to be steady feeding with my mind on putting a little bit of weight on her. So instead of, you know, skipping meals and doing things that I normally do with them, I'll just kind of make sure she eats every time that I'm feeding, you know, in her area in there. No, I don't want you going in there. But yeah, you can see how deep and dark she is at the neck. And it gets into like a lighter red color. I wish she was fired up and looking really good, because she's such a pretty animal when she is. But I'm gonna cut this short and get her inside before she heads into the woods on me here. So we'll see you guys.